I'm a very disciplined person. If you doubt it, just look at this channel. Since I started this channel, there has never been a week that I didn't fulfill my promise to myself and I didn't publish a video. Some weeks I did even more than one. And this has been despite the fact that I didn't have enough time and not many people watch these videos. So, what you hear is from a disciplined person. Let me tell you my take on discipline. A few years ago, I was working really hard on another project. Uh, I received an image, the image of a horse that was tied to a carriage and was being beaten to go further and faster. It felt like that in that image was telling me that I was the horse and that was the way I was treating myself. That realization kind of got lost in my daily life. I still had it with me, but it wasn't in forefront of my mind. A few days after I received that image, I saw a post on Facebook. At the time, I had a Facebook account. Someone shared a picture of a person tied to a carriage being beaten to go further and faster. She explained that she was in her retirement stage of life, but she felt like that was the way she was treating herself. She was an author and she didn't have a boss to push her to do more. She didn't have anyone that she had to provide for. She also didn't want to achieve more. So it was all her doing that to herself. Seeing that post was a moment of clarity for me. It was like I was being made aware of a behavioral pattern within me. Both those images were showing me that I was punishing myself in the name of discipline to achieve more, to do more. So when I realized that, I became curious. Why would someone do that to themselves? Where did that behavior come from? At the time, I wasn't familiar with inner identities or inner parts or archetypes that exist in every human being. These inner identities kind of shape how we feel, how we think, and how we behave without us knowing about them. And I have a video about those identities if you were interested to know more about those. But anyway, I realized that behind that behavior, behind punishing myself in the name of discipline, were two of those identities, the overachiever and more than that, the inner critic. They were pushing me to be more disciplined, to achieve more, to do more. Um, all of that just to cover up a deep sense of not being enough. So, gradually, I started recognizing the voice of my inner critic. All of these were created in not very good feeling moments of my childhood. And they got stronger at the time when every day, every time I was sitting down doing nothing, even after a full day of work or school, I was told, why you are sitting doing nothing when there is so much work to be done? Yep. So since then, I became very disciplined and I did a lot in my life. But I went further away from what I truly wanted in my life. I became an engineer and worked as an engineer for many years. Um, but what did all of that brought me? Honestly, mostly misery and depression. Because my inner child didn't need more discipline. My inner child didn't need more achievement. My inner child needed to feel loved. My inner child needed to feel accepted the way she is. My inner child needed to feel like she was already enough. My inner child wanted to feel safe just being. If you have a child around, you can see that clearly. My daughter is 7 years old and her language of love is play. If I want to ask her to do some writing or reading or anything other than playing, first I need to make sure her cup is full. I have spent enough time playing with her first, and then I can ask her to do something. Even then, I try to make that task a little more playful for her so she can stay motivated and focused. Of course, this doesn't happen every day because sometimes I'm tired, sometimes she is not in a good mood, but I know this is how it works. So we need to make sure that our cup is full first, and then we can draw energy, motivation, and discipline out of that cup. That's how we can get things done without abandoning ourselves, without punishing ourselves, without burning out, without being miserable throughout the process, without losing our motivation. So give your inner child as much love as possible by giving her the attention she needs. See what they need, how they feel, make their cup full, and then discipline naturally happens. Discipline naturally follows. And that discipline doesn't come from fear and shame of not being enough. Now, there is a lot of misunderstanding about loving your inner child and loving yourself. Something that it is about having a spa days, or something it's about spending time with your loved ones. All of that is good, but loving yourself, loving your inner child is deeper than that. It's about showing up for yourself, even when you are, especially when you are struggling. It's about listening to yourself more than criticizing yourself. It means soothing and understanding yourself more than pushing yourself to achieve the goals that most of the time they are not even your true goals. It's about deciding to be on your side no matter what. I think everything we want in life is because we think we will be happy when we have those things. But if we punish ourselves through that process to achieve that thing, to get that thing, then what is the point of going through all that shit? A miserable journey never ends in a joyful destination. That's impossible. It's not going to happen. Another thing that I think is the reason that we want to be more disciplined is because we can't trust ourselves. We can't trust ourselves that we get things done in the time that they need to be done. And then we look for external tools and systems and things just to keep us going. If we trust ourselves, we would relax a little bit. We would do things from a place of willingness rather than should, have to, must, which all come from fear and anxiety. I think we can't trust ourselves because our inner child doesn't trust us. And why should they? Did we give them the rest they needed when they needed it? Did we sit with them when they were sad and they needed some time to process that sadness? Did we give them that sense of safety that they are so in need of it? I haven't done that much, so I can't expect my inner child to trust me. But I know that's the work, and I'm taking baby steps toward that. And the more I give that love and attention to my inner child, the more my inner child trusts me, and I can trust myself that I can get things done within the time that they need to be done. I don't have to look for anything else to keep me motivated and disciplined and all of that. Then I gradually start to trust that for the next project, I will send that email. I will make that phone call. And even if I didn't, I still trust myself that I will do a better job next time. If you have never trusted yourself, it takes a little bit of shift in perspective before you can do that. And then you can start taking baby steps toward trusting yourself. Trusting yourself is a big topic to talk about, but here I just said a little bit because it's completely related to discipline that we are talking about here. And I'm hoping with sharing my experience, you don't have to go through the same process and then say, oh, this is not working. And then so you can go further and be happier throughout the process of whatever that you want to achieve in life.